Our vendors are using these. Here's a web page we have in our library, which is some of the products we offer. We have something called Bikey. When you go to the Bikey website to download their mobile app, they have a QR code. They also will direct you to iTunes to download stuff. So some of our products already have these available. We just copy them and stick them on our web page, and then when our users visit, they scan the code, and they'll get the download of whatever the app is. So these exist. It's not like you have to go out of your way to make them. They're already there. Here are some common types of codes. This is taken from this website, PSFK, which is named after the guy, Piers Fox. It's his website. But this is an example of the kind of codes that are available now. You have generic barcodes. People are using basic black. They're also colorizing them. You have the linear barcode. And then you have the Microsoft tag code. Microsoft tag is a little bit different in that QR codes are dumb. For the most part, a QR code will not transmit user data. Microsoft tag will. It will give GPS coordinates and things like that, time of day, where the person was, what they might have been doing, where the code was located, all that kind of stuff. Libraries, we usually don't care about that stuff. We don't want that data. But we do want counts. So we'll show you in a little while how to get some counts from a QR code. Again, other types of codes, you can see that you have customized codes at the top and pre-generated codes at the bottom. And bottom left is the ones we're looking at. Basically, pre-generated code that you must have an app installed, or the device must have the app already. There are some codes over here that what happens is you take a picture of the code and it emails through SMS to a service, and the service sends back the information. That's another kind of code. But we just care basically about the QR codes. Are these really a thing? Yes, these are a thing. I didn't make it up. QR codes are both quietly boring and infinitely useful. If you did not grab that paper clip, I'd suggest you get one. When you're writing these things, you go, gosh, I have to come up with something that people can remember. What will they use? And I looked at a paper clip and I just went, hey, paper clip. And then I went, paper clips come in gold. Golden paper clip. I don't think anyone else has tied golden paper clip to a QR code. So you're going to have to think of me, Bill. All right, so they're becoming a thing in America. They're not really huge. People, when I first was thinking about doing this, some libraries were using QR codes. Actually, quite a few libraries were using QR codes. A lot of the public didn't really know what QR codes were. When you did a search online for articles and blogs and stuff, there wasn't a lot going on last summer or before that. There were people who knew, but all of a sudden, sometime around October, you saw lots and lots of people writing about QR codes. So here's a survey that was done last year, and I think if they did this survey again coming this October, the number would go way, way up. How many people have seen QR code? 52%. Where have they seen them? They've seen them on posters, they've seen them on brochures, they've seen them in newspapers and magazines. Newspapers and magazines down here is 42%, on posters is 29%. As librarians, we're probably putting things on posters. So we'll be putting things on posters, bookmarks, things like that. But right now, I think these numbers are kind of low. This is just United States. But according to this survey, we are at the top of countries that are starting to use them more. Notice Japan is not the top. Japan's number is number 1. Japan, Korea, Asia, way ahead of us. But as far as growth, we're up there. So QR codes engage the digital user. I don't like to use the word engage unless you don't mind the card costume. That's one of those buzzwords I like to say, but engage. So we're engaging the digital user, the mobile user, and we're trying to get our library services to that person. That's what the tool does. And again, in my 1-minute presentation, I'm stretching. You notice I'm repeating the same stuff over and over again. I have not deviated from my 1-minute presentation. So here are some websites you can get that will generate codes. Some of them generate more or different content. You can't see this on the screen, but this one does contact information, email addresses, geolocation, phone number, SMS, text, URL, or what is that? The Wii network. No, Wi-Fi network. And they deliver content or they link to something. So the QR codes I put in the back, if someone scans them, they're just going to pop up a little message. You can make a QR code that has your contact information, wear it around. Somebody scans it, boop. It'll say, do you want to add this person to your contacts? It'll just dump them right in your contacts. So these things are all automatic. You don't have to know anything. The one for QR stuff at the bottom, they do tons of types of codes. They also want to sell you things. You can buy a tie with the code on it. You can buy hats, whatever. But they do tons. These other ones do a different variety. Some of them will also do different sizes, extra large to very, very small. And this one is the same thing, but in a fancy slide, because I saw an NPR story that says that if you use fonts that are difficult to read, people will remember them. So, I'll be talking. I'm just trying to help. I'm a helper. So, the site will generate the code for whatever content you input. It could be event reminders. In this case, this was this event. This code was for this event. Now, when you create the code, this is when we're going to start getting into how to use these. When you create the code, it's printed on whatever. Somebody walks up with their phone, they scan it. Depending on the way the app is set up, it might ask you, do you want to go wherever you want to go, or it will just take you there. In this case, that code takes me to the blog. Ideally, it would take me to a mobile version of the blog. In this case, it didn't. And we'll talk about what a mobile version of something is, but we also have some commandments coming up in a little while. In fact, one of the commandments is direct your user to a mobile optimized site. And what is a mobile page? A mobile page is designed for a mobile user. Most often they begin with the letter M instead of www. That's an easy way to identify them. A mobile page is smaller. It's designed to fit on a mobile screen. So here's a web page that, this is Yahoo in regular version on the left and the mobile version on the right. You see the mobile version fits right into the screen and it's easier to navigate. This is a website called testiphone.com. It's basically a layer. And if you want to test something, you input the URL and it just sort of reformats what you're looking at in this big iPhone thing. And here's another mobile page. Again, you got to design them so that somebody's scrolling either left to right or up and down. Now, advantages for using codes. Since the codes act as a link between virtual worlds and real worlds, they can provide shortcuts so people don't have to write down a long URL or even a confusing shortened URL. Also, they work. This is not something somebody just come up with last year. These have been around for a long time. They've been using them everywhere. They work exactly the way they're supposed to. You scan the code, it brings you back information. Disadvantages are, a lot of people still don't have the phones, or if they have the phones, they're not even aware that they can scan. I mean, I'll tell people, hey, you can scan. They go, oh. You know, they're playing Angry Birds or something. They don't even know why they have a phone.